Three disturbing Shriek's janitor horror stories. There's something about being the last person in the building. When everyone else clocks out, locks their offices, and heads home, someone has to stay behind. Someone has to walk the empty hallways, clean the quiet classrooms, take out the trash when the lights are half shut off and the air sounds different than it did during the day. Janitors see buildings in a way no one else does. And sometimes, they see things they wish they hadn't. Tonight, I'm going to share three disturbing stories sent in by janitors who worked late shifts. Names and small details have been changed for privacy, but the events are told as they were written. Story 1. Marcus had been working as a high school janitor for about 4 years. He preferred the evening shift. He'd start at 3 p.m. just as students were leaving and usually finish around midnight. By 9 p.m., the building was completely empty except for him. One Tuesday in October, he was cleaning the second-floor science wing. The hallway lights were on a motion sensor system. After about 10 minutes of inactivity, they would shut off automatically. Marcus was used to it, but that night, something felt different. Around 10:40 p.m., while mopping near the biology lab, the lights at the far end of the hallway flicked on. He froze. The sensor should only activate if something moved down there. He waited, listening. Silence. He assumed maybe the HVAC system triggered it somehow. He went back to mopping. A few minutes later, the lights shut off again, then turned back on. This time closer, about halfway down the hallway. Marcus felt his stomach tighten. He slowly walked toward the lit section. The lights ahead of him shut off as he approached, and the ones behind him turned on, like something was moving away from him, triggering the sensors one by one. He stopped walking. The lights stopped too. The hallway went dark except for the section directly above him. Marcus called out, half joking, half serious, asking if someone was still in the building. No answer. He pulled out his phone and used the flashlight to scan the hallway. Empty lockers, closed classroom doors. Then he heard it. A single locker door slam, loud enough to echo. It came from the very end of the hall. Marcus didn't hesitate after that. He went straight to the main office and checked the security monitors. The footage showed the hallway clearly. No one was there. But as he watched the playback from earlier, he noticed something. The lights weren't turning on randomly. They were activating in a straight line, like someone walking at a steady pace, except there was no visible person. Marcus finished his shift early that night. 2 weeks later, he transferred to a different school. He says he still avoids walking behind people in long hallways. Story 2. Elena worked overnight cleaning shifts at a small private hospital. Her hours were 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. She was responsible for disinfecting operating rooms and restocking supply closets. Most of the time, she worked alone in whichever wing had been cleared for cleaning. One night around 2:15 a.m., she was assigned to sanitize an unused patient ward on the 3rd floor. The ward had been closed for renovations months earlier, but it was still occasionally cleaned. When she stepped off the elevator, the floor was silent. Too silent. No distant machine beeps, no rolling carts, just the faint hum of overhead lights. She began wiping down door handles and counters, working methodically. About 20 minutes in, she heard a soft cough from one of the rooms. Elena froze. She knew the floor was empty. She had signed the clearance sheet herself. She stood there listening. Nothing. She told herself it was pipes or air moving through vents. She resumed cleaning. Then she heard it again. A cough, clearer this time, followed by a quiet voice saying, "Hello?" Her heart began pounding. She slowly approached the room the sound came from. The door was slightly ajar. She pushed it open. The bed was stripped. No equipment hooked up. No monitors running. The room was empty. Elena backed away slowly. As she did, she heard a metallic clatter behind her. She turned. A stainless steel tray had fallen off a cart at the end of the hallway. The cart she had left against the wall. She walked toward it cautiously. The tray was on the floor, still spinning slightly. She looked down the corridor. All the patient room doors were closed, except one. At the very end, the last room on the right, its door was wide open now. Elena was certain she hadn't touched it. She didn't investigate. She left the floor and reported the incident to her supervisor, who brushed it off as building noises. A week later, Elena learned from a nurse that the closed ward used to house long-term respiratory patients. One of them had died unexpectedly during the night shift years ago. Elena requested to never be assigned to that floor again. Story 3. Daryl worked as a janitor in a downtown office building. His shift started at midnight and ended at 8 a.m. The building had 20 floors, but only the lobby and first 5 were cleaned nightly. One Friday at around 3:30 a.m., he was vacuuming a conference room on the 4th floor. The city skyline outside the windows was dark except for a few scattered lights. As he finished, he heard the elevator ding. That wasn't unusual, but no one should have been in the building. He stepped into the hallway. The elevator doors were open, empty. He walked closer. The display above the doors showed it had come from the 17th floor. Daryl frowned. The upper floors were locked after 10 p.m. Only executive staff had access. He pressed the call button. The doors closed, then reopened immediately. Still empty, a chill ran down his spine. He stepped inside and pressed the button for the lobby. The door shut. As the elevator descended, it suddenly stopped. The display flickered. Instead of showing a floor number, it went blank. The lights inside dimmed slightly. Then a voice spoke. Soft, close, not through the speaker, from behind him. You missed a spot. Daryl spun around. He was alone. The elevator jolted and resumed moving. When the doors opened in the lobby, he rushed out and checked the security desk. The guard on duty swore no one else had entered or exited the building. They reviewed footage from the upper floors. No movement, but the log did show the elevator being called from the 17th floor at 3:28 a.m. Access key not detected. Daryl quit 2 months later. He told me he still avoids elevators when he can. Being a janitor means seeing the hidden parts of buildings, the spaces between busy hours, the quiet moments no one else witnesses. Maybe there's a rational explanation for each of these stories. Maybe lights glitch. Maybe old buildings make strange sounds. Or maybe sometimes when you're the only one left cleaning up after everyone else. You're not actually alone. And if you ever find yourself walking through an empty hallway late at night and something moves where nothing should be, just remember, some buildings don't like being empty.